You ever feel like you're stuck in the same loop, finding yourself in the same kinds of situations, feeling those same old frustrations, like you're just following a script you never even wrote? Well, we're going to dive right into that today. We're talking about why we repeat the patterns that hurt us and, more importantly, how we can finally start to break free. And this quote, man, it just gets right to the heart of the matter, doesn't it? So many of our deepest behaviors are just running on autopilot in the background. They're like these unconscious echoes from a past we haven't really looked at. And the very first step to changing any pattern is just to be able to see it for what it is. All right, so let's start with the here and now. What do these patterns actually look and feel like in our everyday lives as adults? I mean, does this sound familiar at all? That feeling of being on a hamster wheel? Maybe it shows up in your relationships, or it's that same anxiety that creeps in at work. Or maybe it's that inner critic in your head that just will not shut up. That feeling of being completely stuck. That is a huge, flashing sign that an old pattern is running the show. And it's wild? Just how common this stuff is. I mean, take a look at this list. We've got perfectionism, people-pleasing, that gnawing fear of rejection. Sound familiar? Struggling to say no? Overthinking everything you say? If you're nodding along to any of this, please hear me. You are so not alone. These are not flaws in your character. They are learned behaviors, and they have really deep roots. So to really get where those roots come from, we have to go way back to the beginning, to the time when our emotional blueprint for survival was first getting sketched out. And this is the key idea right here, childhood conditioning. Now, this isn't something we ever consciously chose. It was this automatic, unconscious thing we did to adapt. See, when you're a kid, your number one job, your only job really, is to feel safe and loved, and you will instinctively twist yourself into whatever shape you need to be to get that in your home. And this is where things get twisted. On the left side here, you've got the basic fundamental needs that every single child has. Simple things, right? To be seen, to feel safe. But then look at the right side. These are the lessons so many of us actually learned instead. We learned that to avoid a fight, you have to disappear. That your needs are a burden to other people, that setting a boundary, whoa, that's rebellion, and that resting is just being lazy. These weren't just abstract ideas. For us, this stuff became our reality. So to get through all that, we had to take on roles. It was like putting on a costume to survive. Maybe you became the peacekeeper, the one who was always putting out fires. Or maybe you were the performer, always chasing that next achievement to feel worthy. You might have been the overfunctioner, the invisible one, learning that if you just stay small, you stay safe. These roles absolutely helped us get through childhood. But here's the thing. Those roles we played as kids, they don't just magically disappear when we hit 18. Nope. They echo, loud and clear, right into our lives today. Okay, this part is so important. Your body remembers things your conscious mind might have forgotten. You know that feeling when you flinch if someone raises their voice? Or you just freeze up completely during an argument? Or that wave of anxiety that hits you out of nowhere? That's not in your head. That's your nervous system, your body, remembering an old threat. These aren't logical reactions. They're physical ones, baked right into us. I really want you to let this one sink in. Seriously, if you take away just one thing from all of this, let it be this right here. The way you act isn't because you're flawed. People-pleasing wasn't a character flaw. It was a strategy to get love. Perfectionism wasn't a moral failing. It was a genius strategy to avoid being criticized. We have to start looking at these things not as what's wrong with us, but what we did to survive. And here's the big problem, right? Here's the conflict. The exact same things that kept you safe when you were a kid are now the very walls keeping you stuck as an adult. The strategy is just outdated. It's like you're running on old software. Your world has totally changed, but that internal programming, it hasn't gotten the update yet. So the big question is, how do we update that programming? Well, I can tell you it's not by beating ourselves up or trying to force it. The only way forward, the real path to healing, is through compassion. And the very first, most important step is this. You have to stop judging yourself for the ways you learn to cope. That little perfectionist inside you, that people-pleaser part, it was doing the absolute best it could with what it knew back then. It doesn't need your judgment anymore. Honestly, it deserves a little gratitude and a lot of understanding. Which brings us to this idea of reparenting our inner child. I know it can sound a little out there, but it's actually super practical. So when one of those old feelings or patterns kicks up, here's what you do. Step 1, just stay with it. Don't run from the feeling. Step 2, listen to it. Ask it, hey, what's the fear here? What are you so afraid of? Step 3, validate it. Tell that part of you, you know what? It makes total sense that you feel this way. And then step 4 is to offer safety. From your adult self, you can say, I've got this now, we are safe. And look, this whole process isn't about getting bogged down in the past. Not at all. It's about understanding the past so you can take your power back in the future. It is about consciously, deliberately rewriting your story from here on out. Because we can't go back and erase the past, right? That's impossible. But what we can do, what is 100% in our power, is to rewrite our present. Every single time you choose a different response, every time you manage to set that boundary or speak up for yourself, you are literally rewriting your story in real time. I love this because it's like a permission slip. You are allowed to outgrow the things that once kept you safe. So often we feel this weird guilt when we start to change, right? Like we're betraying our family or that old version of ourselves. But it's not betrayal. It's the opposite. It's becoming. It's growth. So I want to leave you with this question to think about. The person you're in the process of becoming, who are they really? If you weren't being held back by all those old, outdated patterns, who would you be? What different choices would you make? Because I'm telling you, that person isn't just some fantasy. They're real, and they're just waiting for you to give them the permission to come out.